Hi everyone and welcome to the French Watch Collector. Today on the bench we have this beautiful vintage watch, a Longines, and we see inside there is a great caliber. And actually this watch will be for a giveaway for the channel. So actually if you are a subscriber of the channel, I will tell you a bit more about it, or you can enter to this giveaway. But actually this watch is going to be fully restored on this video. And at the end, I will give this watch to subscribers. So yeah, just stay tuned to know how to get this watch. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna fully disassemble and check this watch. Just gonna remove, you see the bracelet there. I'm just gonna open this case back, and you see like this is just a snap-on case back. And you see actually the caliber stay inside the case back. So we're gonna do first, now it's safe, we're just gonna remove this beautiful end there and this very nice and original die. Just going to remove the, you see there's a sub-second end. Perfect. Just going to put them, you see, in this little box here, just to make sure it's stay safe. And as well, again, if you did not subscribe to the video, just click on the subscribe button. You can click as well on thumbs up if you like the video. And as well, if you click on the bell, you will get a reminder every time I put a new video on this channel. So yeah, thanks in advance if you do that. So we're gonna do now, just gonna check this dial, and yeah, you see like we have some damage to the dial. Obviously, like this is not a watertight watch, and you see some inscription on the case back. You see New York. You see a lot of writing from the previous watchmaker on this watch. It's a 10K gold field, so it means it's like kind of it's not a full gold case. It's just like gold field. And you see there we are missing a screw there on a dial. That's not good. See if we can find a brand new screw for the dial there. Just gonna remove this beautiful dial, and again we're just gonna put it in his belt just to make sure it stays safe during disassembly, reassembly of this watch. And look at this beautiful, you will see this caliber is amazing. Like I love Longines and the old calibers that they were making at the time. And you will see like this is very dirty. This caliber is running, but not great. And you see like the color is not very shiny. Yeah, it's not very, it's very dirty. Like, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna disassemble everything on his watch, each single part. We're gonna be fully disassembled, and we're gonna do basically what's called a service on his watch. Just checking if and you see like this balance as well. It's a very, very specific balance. It's a temperature compensated balance. You see like it's a balance with two metal on you have a kind of a gold metal on the outside, a silver metal on the inside, and you see like it's like there is it's broken, if you will, in two half. And basically what it does is balance is like with the temperature outside. So for example, if it's a warm weather or cold weather, it will move. It will for example, if it's warm, it will start to grow, and if it's cold, it will start to shrink, sorry. And this will regulate automatically basically the balance and the spring that you have inside to compensate the temperature. This is very, very clever. And just to talk about this caliber, actually this caliber is very old. You see the 9L is written on this caliber. It's a very old caliber, and this is a caliber, let's say, between 1930, 1940s, so almost 100 years old caliber. And it's crazy to think that the people at the time, like without computer, without like modern stuff that we have today, they were like able to produce this kind of parts, like just to compensate the temperature is crazy. Yeah. Just checking everything, and I see that there is one wheel actually, like this one. He has too much play up and down, so we see if we can adjust that as well on the jewel. And you will see on this caliber again, like beautiful finish on this caliber. You see some perlage underneath. You will see some angle like on all the bridges, like very, very, very nice finish. Some brushing on the top. Yeah, amazing quality from this vintage caliber from Longines. Yeah, just removing the bridge. Yeah, and you will see a lot of parts actually. Like the caliber is very dirty, and a bit of corrosion in it, and a lot of parts are stick together. So that's why you need to be careful when you disassemble this caliber. Just need to go very slowly, and just to make sure we don't break anything. And you see all the dirt there on the train of wheel. And now basically we're gonna disassemble the barrel assembly. So first the bridge on top. We have the crown wheel there, and this is the ratchet wheel. We have the click here that we are just disassembling. We see we have a third number as well on this caliber. I don't know if you have more information on this beautiful caliber. I told you it's caliber from 1930 to 1940s. Actually, it's a caliber that was probably done for exportation, and you see this watch was done in probably from the US, and you see it was New York written on the case back. And actually, we see on a balance wheel you have three letters. I think it's LXW. Which was a code for importing to import the watches in the US. So yeah, I think this caliber was done for the American market at the time. And yeah, if you find some information more on this caliber, I would be very happy to put down in a comment and to share your knowledge on this caliber. Okay, so now we've disassembled all the balance side. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna disassemble the keyless work. So this is on the other side of the caliber. Again, you see the finish on this caliber, what's called a perlage. You see all these rounds that go between each other, like it's a beautiful finish on this caliber. Like there is a problem here. Looks like there is a broken part. Like the setting lever spring there is broken. So we see if we can find, obviously they are very old caliber, so it's very difficult to find some of the parts. So sometimes you need to manufacture some of the parts, but yeah, we have to replace the setting lever spring there. Just removing, you see the yoke spring here, very gently, just to make sure it doesn't jump, because yeah, it can happen like this. This spring can jump far away, and yeah, it's a struggle always to look for them. Just removing the yokes there, and we have like the last few parts from the keyless fork. We see we have the winding stem there, and we have the winding pinion in the clutch. Okay, you see like this caliber, actually there is not that many parts, because obviously it's a manual caliber. There is no second or center second hand on this caliber. So yeah, it's probably like the type of caliber where you can have the least amount of parts on for a watch. But yeah, again, beautiful caliber. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna fully clean each part. So first we start by taking this jewel, you see, with a piece of wood, and we're gonna disassemble there the crown wheel. Underneath the bar bridge, you have three very tiny screws to detach the crown wheel there. And obviously, again, you will see we put all these parts inside some baskets, and we want to make sure like the parts are as clean as possible. Here we go. Just remove, you see these three tiny screws there, and the crown wheel, which is in two parts here. There we go. That's how we can clean everything in a cleaning machine later on. Just gonna do a quick. We're gonna polish, if you want, the pivot points you see there on a train of wheels. We're gonna do that on each pivot point there with what's called some E-flex. gonna disassemble as well the barrel assembly there. Very dirty as well, you see the barrel assembly. But inside actually it's not too bad inside the mainspring. Just gonna remove the barrel arbor. And now I can take out the mainspring. And you see, yeah, this is a modern mainspring. This is not the original mainspring because or else it would be a blued mainspring. This is like kind of, so it has this watch has a service, let's say, not a long time ago. But yeah, it's not still with the original mainspring. Just gonna polish, you see with this tool, gonna polish the pivot point there from the barrel assembly and for the bridges where we put the barrel assembly. Again, you want to polish everything because we want to have the friction to a minimum on the watch, because the friction will cause some issue obviously and will prevent the watch from running nicely and with a nice amplitude. So that's why we want to polish like the pivot point if we see we have some damage on it. Just polishing, you see the last couple of points there, pivot point there with the center wheel and the barrel assembly. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna put like all the parts inside these small baskets, and we're gonna clean these parts, like each single part inside a cleaning machine, and hopefully at the end we'll have some nice and clean watch parts. You see like all the parts now in my little baskets there. And that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put them inside the cleaning machine. So first we put the parts inside the cleaning solution, then we will do tool wrenching on wrench the parts fully, and we will finish by drying the parts and to be ready to reassemble this beautiful caliber. Just to tell you as well, I have a Patreon page, and what I'm gonna do soon, I'm gonna update my Patreon and put a lot more stuff on my Patreon. So if you wanna go there and subscribe, thank you in advance. But first, I would like to thank my existing Patreon. So thanks to Nathan, Jeffrey, Olaf, Marcus, Philip, Roger, Matt, David, Shaby, Jan, Alan, David, Tony, Tim. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting me. And again, you find the link down below in the description if you want to go to my Patreon. And I will put some updates very soon with a new Patreon page. Okay, so now the parts are fully clean and fully dry. So we can start to reassemble this beautiful caliber. Okay, so first we're gonna start with the mainspring. I will reuse the mainspring that was inside the watch because it was in very good condition. So I'm gonna use my version tool there just to rewind the mainspring. And you will see this is a special mainspring. It's a T-end. You see at the end, you will have a T shape there. And actually on the barrel, you will have two tiny holes on the side. And actually this T-end need to fit inside this hole just for the mainspring, because being an automatic mainspring, at one point the mainspring will block, because when it's fully wound, it will block on a manual mainspring. And this is all the mainspring is fully blocked, is retained, if you want, by this T-end shape there at the end. And you will see you have a tiny spot, a hole at the bottom. And actually you see now the hole, I'm moving it to the top there. And where I need to align this T-end on the barrel when I put the mainspring. So I'm going to use my tool for that. And I'm just going to very gently insert, you see, the mainspring there inside the barrel. There we go, perfect. Now it's in. Just gonna put back the barrel arbor inside the mainspring there. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put as well the lid. First we need to, you see, because I'm reusing my mainspring there, I'm just gonna oil and grease. It's more grease actually for the barrel. I just put some grease at the bottom, and now I'm just putting some grease on the top of the barrel assembly. And again, I'm just gonna close the lid, and you see I need to align this hole there. Perfect. And now I can close the barrel assembly when it's aligned on these two tiny holes there. Just gonna use my Orotech tool there. Again, just to close this beautiful tool, this beautiful barrel assembly. Perfect. And again, you will see me doing the reassembly. I will use a lot of different oil and grease. And actually, like we did, you see, like on a barrel, for example, we just polished the pivot point, and now we need to oil the pivot point again to reduce the friction and to prevent the part from being to wear between each other, because we have parts metal against metal, so you don't want to have like the metal wearing away when it's turning. So that's why we're gonna put as well a lot of oil and grease on all the different contact points. Now what I'm doing, I'm disassembling, you see, the balance assembly, because I need to get access to the jewel, which is on top of this balance assembly. Like I said, this caliber is between 1930 1940s. And actually, I think the shock system came out in 1945, 47. I don't remember exactly the year. But previous that, actually, was no shock setting like on a balance assembly. So today is quite easy because you have a spring on the top. You just remove the spring, get the jewel out. You don't have to disassemble the balance assembly. But at the top, before you have to disassemble, like I'm doing right now, the balance assembly, just to get access to this jewel here, in order to clean it. Now I'm doing an epilam test. I'm putting some epilam on the parts. And later on, I'm going to put as well some oil because this is a pivot point from the balance assembly. So you just want to make sure the friction is to the minimum with some oil on it. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to remove the epilam you see from the pivot point of the escape and the pallet fork. And what we're going to do next as well, we're going to reassemble the balance assembly the same way, but obviously the opposite way we disassemble it. Now we are going to reassemble it. Just putting the jewel back on top. You see, this is it's a clear jewel. You see, it's not like normally it's like the rubies are like pink color, like you see this one, but the other one was fully clear. Now I'm just gonna put these tiny screws. They are very, like I said, on a watch like from this era, is probably the smallest screw that you can have on the watch. Are the screws which are underneath the balance wheel. They are very, very small. Okay, and so now just tightening the screw there. And obviously I'm gonna put a drop of oil there with my automatic oiler on the jewel. There we go, perfect. And just gonna do the same thing on your other jewel on your other side of the balance wheel. Just gonna put the jewel there, and this one is easier to put in position. Obviously I don't have to disassemble a balance wheel. Just have to put the jewel and move the screw in position. And obviously again with the automatic oiler, I will just drop a drop of oil there. I will reassemble now. You see the balance assembly very gently, because you need to be very careful with the hairspring, which is this blue hairspring, which is very thin. And if you touch it or if you knock it a tiny bit, it will bend. And this is obviously a big issue if you want to have your watch running perfectly. Okay. And now you see the 3-letter LXW there on the balance. Like I said, this is a import or exportation, depending on which side you are, for this caliber in the US. And you see now the caliber, like the balance wheel of this caliber is running perfectly. You see just a bit of air, and we see the hairspring is perfect concentric, is perfectly flat as well. That's what you want to check. and you see there is no friction, like it doesn't stop very quickly, so it means like the jewels are perfectly set as well. Okay, so now we're gonna reassemble. You remember the crown wheel on the bar bridge there, and you see I'm just putting some oil there as well, because these parts are going to be metal against metal when they are turning, so you just want to lubricate this part there. Just gonna put, you see, like this part on top, and obviously underneath we're gonna put back the 3 little screws. There we go. Perfect. And the last one. Just checking if the wheel is turning. Yeah, perfect. So that's done. And now we can put back all the parts on the caliber, starting by the barrel assembly. Gonna put the center wheels there, but first I'm just gonna put a drop of oil there on the pivot point that go right in the center of the caliber. Just put the bridge that we just reassemble with the crown wheel on top. And we're gonna carry on by reassembling the rest of the parts, you see. And you see how the caliber as well is much more shiny, like the color and the finish on the caliber just are much better right now after cleaning. And it's always like when you clean the parts, the caliber, like, yeah, they pop to your eyes again. And this caliber is very, very beautiful with the different finish on it. And that's why I love Longines, especially their vintage watches. They made beautiful calibers. Obviously, was an era where Longines didn't make the caliber in house anymore. But yeah, before, the caliber were like amazing, like from Longines. Yeah. And you see and again, it's crazy to think that this caliber like is like almost 100 years old, and what they had at the time, and like to produce this kind of calibers, it's amazing. Like with this type of level of finishing, this level of engineering that there was at the time to make a caliber, like I said again, like with temperature compensation and stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah. It's really crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I just put back now the train of wheel. Just gonna check if everything is turning. Yeah, everything is turning perfectly. Just gonna put the screws here. And again, I forgot to put and to adjust. You remember it was a jewel, one of the train of wheels that was moving too much. So I'm using this tool there just to lower down a tiny bit the jewel there, and to have the handshakes, as called the movements that go up and down on the wheel, to reduce it to something which is acceptable. Because if you have too much play in between the wheels, they can rub in between each other, and if they rub between each other, obviously the friction will increase and your watch will not run nicely. So that's why you want to have a bit of play, because you want to have your train of wheel which is not constrained by the jewels, but you don't want to have too much, or else the wheels will touch to each other, or on a bridge, for example. So that's when you have the correct end play on the each wheel there. Okay, I'm just gonna put now the ratchet wheel back on top. You see, just need to align it there. Just gonna put back this big screw, and you see the sunburst finish as well on, and with, you see on the teeth, you have a polish here, so you have like actually two type of polishing on this ratchet wheel is amazing. Like what they were doing before, and this type of finish that you, and obviously it was manual labor on these calibers at the time, and yeah, this is amazing. I found it really beautiful. This is a piece of history for me. Like, and again, this one will be for one of my subscriber of this channel. And again, we see a bit later on. I tell you how to enter this giveaway. Okay, we're just gonna put back now the keyless work. Just gonna grease the winding stem there. And obviously after we're gonna insert it there in the caliber. Perfect. Gonna put there the setting lever, and you see this one is you have a screw from the other side of the caliber, and that's what I'm going to put it back in position. You see I'm using this screw here. It's gonna lock the setting lever in position. And now I'm gonna put like, and I'm gonna oil and grease like all the contact point there from the keyless work. You will see we're gonna put like the different wheel there, the cannon pinion. I'm putting the yoke here. And you see again, you see this side of the caliber, how much cleaner it is and how beautiful it is on these parts and on this perlage, as this finish on a caliber. Okay, just gonna put back the yoke spring there. Always be careful just to make sure it doesn't jump. Always keep it in position with, you see my plastic tool there from Orotech. And now just gonna put back the different wheels, the cannon pinion there, which is friction mounted there, and the minute wheel. And you remember after we have the setting lever spring that was broken, I managed to find a brand new one. You see how beautiful it is, this one. Just gonna screw it in position. You have two screws there, keeping this setting lever spring in position, and it's actually doesn't look like that, but it's actually a spring. Yeah, you will see. Now I'm just gonna arm the spring there. Tack, that's the spring. This arm actually is used as a spring. Just gonna grease a point there, and you see that's what gives you the two position when you want to wind. The first position is to wind the watch, and the second position is to adjust the time. Just gonna remove now all the excess grease that is on the keyless work here to make it fully clean. Perfect. Look how beautiful it is with the different type of finish on this watch. Just gonna oil. You see the pivot point there from the barrel assembly, and we're gonna reassemble on the other side the pallet fork here. Just gonna put the pallet fork bridge, which is a bit different on this caliber. You see we'll have two. Actually, you have another wheel where we put the second hand on the other side of this caliber. We'll attach the second hand directly on the pivot point of this wheel. And that's why you have two ruby there on this pallet fork bridge. Just realigning everything. And again, we're gonna secure that with the screw. Just gonna wind the watch just to put some tension inside the mechanism. And we're gonna see if the pallet fork is clicking. And if it's clicking, it means that the power is coming to the pallet fork. And you see clicking there. Yeah, that's good. So the power is coming. I managed as well to lubricate the palette fork jewels under the microscope, and now I'm just gonna put the balance assembly. Remember that we managed to clean, to oil as well previously, and now let's see if the caliber want to start again. Oh yeah, perfect. We have a running caliber, just, you see, just press it in position. Just gonna secure it with the screw there. Perfect, and we see what we can do, which result we have on a time grapher a bit later on, but first we're gonna oil the pivot points and the jewel from the train of wheel. Obviously we're gonna do that on all the jewels. We see putting different type of oil, some different viscosity of oil on the jewels. Perfect. Just do the same thing on the other side. And now I can put the hour wheel here. Just gently. And you see, look at the finish on our wheel. Beautiful. What I'm gonna do first, I'm just gonna do a quick clean on the dial. And you see it's a bit dirty, but obviously I'm not gonna restore this dial. I need to send it to a specialist for the dial. But just gonna do a quick clean, you see, with some special alcohol on it. And you see the dial is a tiny bit more white, like yeah, you just clean it a bit. And obviously I want to keep, and unlike on the watch, to keep them as original as well. I don't want to make from a watch from the 1930s brand new again. Or else if you want a brand new watch, you just go to the shop and you buy a brand new Longines. Yeah? That's my idea, but obviously after everybody is different. But yeah, I just try to keep the watch with some history as well on the dial or the case. Just gonna polish as well the hand. Just do a quick polish as well, just to make them shine again on hour, minute, and second hand. And obviously now gonna put back the dial on the caliber. Put it gently in position. Just gonna screw the dial fit screw there. And you remember it was a missing screw as well. I just found a brand new one there. I'm just gonna put in position here. Like that. For sure the caliber, the dial will be secure again from both sides. Perfect. And now we're just gonna put the different ends. So first we start with the second end. And again, as well, if you want to see a bit more some of the tools that I'm using, in the description of this video, you will have a couple of links. Obviously, I'm working a lot with Orotech, some link with Orotech, and as well with Venus Diffusion, which provide a lot of these tools. And I will put some link down below in the description for the website. Just putting the minute end right now. And we're just gonna check if the hands are fully aligned. Oh yeah, perfect. Like you see at 6 o'clock, the alignment is perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna focus as well on the case. The crystal is in very, very bad shape, so we'll not be able to restore this original crystal. That's a shame, but sometimes it's like that. You cannot restore everything. We're gonna do first, I'm going to go use my Elma ultrasonic machine. Just gonna clean the case part there. That's the first step. And what we're gonna do next, we're gonna do a very, very light polish on the case. Obviously, we said that this is gold plated. So I just want, and again, to keep the history of the watch, I'm just going to polish it by hand. So I'm just going to use this paste you see on a towel there, on a microfiber towel, and I'm just going to rub. You see, like for let's say a couple of minutes, I'm just going to rub the parts on this towel and on the paste, and you will see at the end the result. You will have a very nice shine on the parts. Just gonna do the same thing as well. We just did the case back. We're just gonna do like on a main part of the case as well. Just gonna rub this paste you see on the watch case. Just gonna do as well. Just need to do it on every angle as well from this beautiful caliber. Obviously, we're gonna clean the parts again in the ultrasonic machine just to remove the paste from this case. There we go. So now we did a polish, and after the cleaning, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna use some UV glue, just to glue a brand new crystal on the watch, and you will see that. So I'm just gonna put some glue here. You see along the edge there of the case back. Perfect. And next, I will put back a brand new crystal in position. Just using a bit of horological there to grab the crystal and snap it in position. And now I'm just gonna put it into my UV light, you see, and I'm just gonna cure it for a couple of minutes just to make sure that the glue fully set on the crystal, and we'll have a brand new case again. Just would like to show you as well, when I put the watch on a time grapher, the bit error was like above 5 milliseconds, which is very high. I try to have it on this manual bit error watch. I try to have it below 1. So I'm just going to show you how to adjust the bit error. So I'm just disassemble the balance wheel again. We just grab, you see, the balance wheel there with the hairspring on top of it. And you see this tool, you have a tiny tooth on it, and you will see this tool will be used actually. And you see this is a version tool that I'm using there. This tooth will be used to rotate ever so slightly the hairspring there. You see the tooth will go inside the groove here now. And now I will be able to rotate it because it opened a tiny bit, you see, this groove. And I will be, you see, I'm just turning a tiny bit. And that's how you adjust a bit error, like when it's a manual adjustment, let's say, for the bit error. That's how you do it on a watch. And you will see the result I'm getting on this watch at the end. Okay, so now we're gonna reassemble the balance wheel and put it back on this beautiful 9L Longines caliber. Perfect. And now you see, like, I remove all the power from the watch, but as soon as I will put back some power, it will just start again, and we can secure it again with this screw in position, and we'll have a nice caliber again. Okay, so we're gonna put it back in a case box that we just polished, and we're gonna snap on the front of this case with the brand new crystal. Perfect. And it fit perfectly on this beautiful watch. Wow, look at this. I love this beautiful, and I hope you love it as well, because it's gonna be for one of you. This beautiful watch. I'm just gonna put back this bracelet in position now. Wow, look at this beauty again. We see a bit more at the end. Beautiful. Just gonna demagnetize the watch, and before I show you the result on a time grapher, I just would like to tell you as well that I have my own website. I will put a link down below or on the top right corner. You will find some information on my video, and as well I have some watches are for sale, which are restored as well on his channel. And if you want to send your watch, like for example this vintage Longines for service, just contact me on my website, and I will be very happy to service your watch on a video if you want. And look at the result on the time grapher. You see the amplitude went right at 320 degrees. That's very high for an old watch. It's beautiful. The rate is at 8 seconds. I will just adjust it a tiny bit more, and the bit error just below 1 millisecond. That's perfect on a time grapher. So for the giveaway, you see this beautiful watch. Just go first on my YouTube, be a subscriber to the channel, like the video, and put a comment why you want this watch. And if you want to increase the changes to get this watch, go on my TikTok, on my Instagram. You will have a link down below. Follow the video as well on my TikTok and Instagram, and like as well the video on my TikTok and Instagram. And one of you will get this beautiful watch. So I hope you like the video, and I see you next time. Bye bye.